Hello and welcome to the I Love You Bet podcast. I'm Heather and this is my sister,
Rian. Each week we will revisit relics of our childhoods using our multiple master's degrees
to critically evaluate the crap that consumed our misspent youth. So join us,
sisters, latchkey kids, cuspers, and lazy feminists as we look back at our past to say, I love you, but...
How'd you waste time this week?
How did I waste? Well, I'm never gonna come up with a clever thing for this like you have. Well, I didn't go to work at all this week because of ice and snow and cold.
Yeah.
So I wasted a lot of time this week. I put Christmas away.
Good job.
That took a lot of time. I got the Christmas tree out. It is the 21st of January.
Hey.
But it's been out for a few days. So, yeah.
That's good.
It's not officially put away because Ben's got to take the steps to the garage when it gets warmer, but
yeah,
they are on the front porch. So.
In the snow.
So that was a productive waste of time. Well, there's no snow on the front porch. It's covered. So. But they're cold, so I don't know. Hopefully that snow globe.
What snow globe? What are you talking about?
Doesn't burst. I spent time trying to get my pipes unfrozen.
You did, and you succeeded.
I did, and now the bathtub's frozen again in the toilet, despite running the water. So I put the heater back under there. I went to dinner with a friend.
Good.
I whined a lot on Facebook. I have done nothing but waste time for a week. So let's just talk about you. What have you? How'd you waste time this week?
Well, I finished the latest season of Fargo, and it was wonderful.
Oh, yes.
And I love Juno Temple even more than ever. And my uncle's house sprung a leak and flooded his kitchen and dining room and living room. So I spent a lot of time hanging out with dudes who fix things and have discovered that my uncle might, despite his protests, need more attention than he thinks he does. So once the house is back to fixed, then we're going to have to look at changing some things up. So
Good times.
Good times. I watched a really great movie.
Yeah.
And I didn't have to watch another movie to palate cleanse. Hey. We watched it in the 80s. I'm not blaming you. I mean, I watched
I'm the one that made the choice, though. Although, that you got some good advice to help you in that meeting you were in, so I'm just saying.
My big business advice. I was telling Eddie's friend Susan about how I was just going to be like folding my arms and be like, fuck you, what the fuck is going on? And she was like, was that? I was like, that was not the vibe, Susan. That was not the vibe. It was just these scared, frail old people. And basically the dude that had been the CEO saying, hey, I'm the largest stockholder. I know I'm part of the problem, but I want to get my money back too. Here's what I think we should do. And then being mad at him because he lost their money, but then also being promised all this line of bullshit from the board. And I mean, literally median age, like 82 in this meeting. And the finance guy who put the whole thing together is like, I mean, it could be 10 years. It's probably going to be more like 15 or 17 before you get your money back, if they can do what they say they can do. And so far, they haven't proven trustworthy. And I'm like, y'all don't have that long. Like, you need to just take the 20% loss and get your money back.
I mean, isn't like part of investing the risk that you might. Yeah, like you can't really get mad. That's like it's like when we go to Winstar, if we got mad at them or when we lose.
Right. Yeah.
And we're like, which I'm sure some people do. Like, there's some crazy in there who's like, how am I going to pay rent?
Make better choices. So this week, one of the things I'll be wasting time on is trying to figure out because the deadline is this Friday. So I got to figure out what we have to do. But when there's no water in the house, you have to prioritize over dealing with
it's very true.
a thieving
Priorities.
board and scared old people.
Thieving board. And it's not your money, so.
Yeah, I mean, you and I might get some percentage of it at some point, maybe, but I'm not that invested in. Yeah. So I was trying to tell Eddie. So yesterday he took all of his watches. We took all of his watches to this watch guy, which was just a jewelry store, but he has a bracelet that he loves.
How many watches does our uncle have?
I think it was about 9.
9 watches.
2 of them were from Switzerland. I've never heard of the brand. One of
that's how boutique it is.
Yeah. Both of them were in boxes, and inside of the boxes they were wrapped around a pillow. And one of the pillows was just disintegrating, and he kept opening the box in the living room with the pillow disintegrating. I'm like, stop it! I'm gonna take it to the trash can and hold it over the trash can. I'm gonna open it up. I don't know what this disintegration is, and we're breathing it, and we're already breathing from where the sheetrock fell through. We don't need to keep breathing these things. Stop it. So they fixed they put a battery in all of them. All of them are working except one fossil, which is just a loss. So it's he had a fossil watch, okay, and then he has a gold Omega that isn't working. And this guy's well, I don't work on Omegas, but I've got a guy who does. So now there's some other guy we have to go see. And I'm like, can we just sell this fucking watch? First of all, and no offense to
I don't really know about watches. Is Omega a good watch?
It's what they put on James Bond. They're very nice watches. Yes, they're very expensive. It's a Drake watch or whatever.
I know about a Rolex, and then that's it.
So a Rolex is an 80s American classic. And then Omega is the new version of having too much money and putting it on your wrist and walking around with it. And he was I was teasing Eddie about it. And he was blah, blah. I'm like, dude, you walk around with $1,000 watch in your pocket all day, every day. Pull your phone out. There's your watch, man. You don't need to do this. You don't need to have all these watches.
I mean, that's telling people they don't need jewelry. I mean, no.
He forgets to wear it. That was the other thing. He's we're going to turn you around. I was I am 45 years old, going on 46. When do you think I'm going to suddenly be interested in adorning this? This meat sack.
Is he trying to doll you up?
Yeah. I was this meat sack is done. It's wearing cotton. And
you're
shoes.
Wrong sister. Wrong sister, buddy.
My shoes
She's
are
the one that wears the dress.
Because if I don't wear expensive shoes, my feet hurt. It is not a fashion statement. And then I'm in there and I'm so here's the thing, Eddie. I've decided that it's best to be middle class. Because when you're poor or working poor or lower class, it sucks. Because if things break, you can't afford to fix them, and you can't go on vacation. You can't have nice things. If you're rich, anybody finds out you're rich, they're going to try to take your money, and you got to spend time managing your money and all this. You got to try to make more money with your money. That's a whole second job. No fun.
Yeah.
Middle class, perfect, because you can get shit fixed. You can probably buy a house, and you can go on vacation and probably have a retirement. It's the perfect place, but you don't have enough where somebody's going to come for you. It's not worth the effort if they come for you, because I'm trying to convince him that he's going to have to take the safe driving test, because he keeps pulling out his driver's license being we need to renew this. And I'm we're going to do a safe driving test. It's I can't. I'm you're a walking liability, dude. You can't remember if you took the pills. I don't trust you behind the wheel of a car. Hey, what do you remember about the Philadelphia story?
You know what? I honestly didn't remember anything. I mean, I knew, and I've watched it, and it hasn't even been that long ago. I think that the reason I don't remember it ever, I block it out, is because I start watching it and I'm oh, Heather Davis. Like
you
somehow watching.
you don't have to talk to me. Like you could make a choice not to talk to me.
I
Like,
know.
if you really dislike
No,
my
I do
company
have
that
to talk to you
much.
because I don't dislike you that much. It's just it's just like, oh, this is where she gets it from. Although watching it this time, I feel like the last time I watched it, I was like, oh, Heather, you know. And then, but I didn't have like whatever, like the growth that I have now to think through it and really watch it. And we'll get into it. But no, I was having dinner with my friend Emily the other night. She took me out for dinner, which was very lovely. For my birthday. Well, she didn't take me out. We went to dinner. We paid for it, whatever. And she got me this mug. It's very nice. Anyways,
Pretty mug.
And we get together every 3 months. And like, what's going on here? Like, what's going? We were talking about holidays and all that. And I was telling her about when we went to go look at Christmas lights and how like I think. And maybe this is just part of it, and other people's relationships are like this too, but it's like nobody makes me as angry as you do, but also no one makes me laugh as hard as you. Like, I don't laugh as hard with anyone as hard as I laugh with you about absolutely goddamn nothing. And I don't know if you feel the same. I figure you probably feel, I don't know, other people might make you angrier than I do, but I mean,
I don't think anger is the right word.
No, frustrated.
Yes, frustrated.
Yes,
is the
because
right
we
word.
love each other so much.
Yes.
Yes, it's like no one gets me as extreme of emotion that I care about. And I mean that's just what it is, It's like, Emily, that's why I appreciate you, because with you it's just the laughter part. There's no like, you don't make me angry.
Sure.
Like,
I would just say that what people give us,
yes,
cannot always be good. And if it's always good, it's probably somewhat shallow because
yeah.
then
Well,
we're
I mean,
not
it's like
getting
that.
their authentic selves, right? Like we're not.
I don't know if it's what we get is always good. I think it's also about expectation, right? Like in relationships, like frustration, I think sometimes comes from expectation and people not meeting expectations that you have. And because our relationship used to come with frustration, like, and then I adjusted my expectations and it also, met kind of like people where they're at in a way too. But again, it's a different relationship. So it's like, it's easier to do that in like a friend that you see every 3 months.
Yeah.
Than, your sister, best friend, child's godmother. Hey, aunt, child, god. So yeah, I didn't remember a lot. And I told Ben we were watching it, and he goes, oh God, why? It's like 6 hours long. And I was like, not Philadelphia. Tell me a story. I told him I did the same thing. And then I was like, oh my God, why do you want to watch that? It's so depressing. So then I was like, started to try watch it yesterday with them here. And I did not get far before Elliot was like in my face.
Yeah. Well, it's mostly verbal comedy, so it's not. I mean, I think someday he might really enjoy it, but right now he's not going to get why it's funny. So
it's all verbal comedy because and that makes sense because it was a play originally.
Yeah.
And so I didn't realize that's the first time I watched it. So, but anyways, okay, what do you remember about?
Yar.
Yar. She certainly is. Yar.
I remember
that from Failure to Launch.
Yeah. I remember that it's a screwball comedy of remarriage. I remember almost every single person who's in the cast. I thought it was the little girl from Meet Me in St. Louis, but it's not. It's a different girl. No. But they're like the same girl, even though they're not the same character. Girl.
Yes. Annoying ass younger sister.
I knew there was a weird dad secret. I remember Cary Grant pushing Katharine Hepburn by the face and how that didn't bother me so much when I was a kid, but Rewatching it as an adult, it has bothered me. We'll talk about that. I remember the library. For some reason, I thought this is one where they got stuck in jail, but that must be some other screwball comedy. I remember
baby.
Yeah, I remember Champagne. I remember the best dialogue, and then I remember that all the men fell in love with Katharine Hepburn. So that is what I remember.
I love that it's like we watch Big Business, and I'm like, I remember, and you're like, I don't remember anything. And then we watch this, and I'm like, I don't remember anything.
Well, like, in fairness, I bought this as an adult, and I have watched it at least 2 times in the last decade. So
I also have watched that movie recently too, but okay.
Big Business?
No, Philadelphia Story.
Oh, okay. Never mind. Okay. Anyway.
Like in the last.
So I decided to do a scientific study because it is not good for people to hit each other. True fact. So I was like, okay, we're going to do it. I'm going to just sit down, and every time there's a physical act of violence, I'm going to make a note. So Katharine Hepburn never once hits at Cary Grant. Cary Grant hits Katharine Hepburn one time at the very beginning. Katharine Hepburn pulls her sister's hair. The uncle gooses Katharine Hepburn, and he gooses the awesome sidekick.
Yes.
Katharine Hepburn pushes her fiance to the ground, and Cary Grant punches Jimmy Stewart. So she got 2. No. Yeah, she got 2. Yeah. And then Cary Grant got 2. And then she had 2. So she pushes her fiance. She pulled her sister's hair. Cary Grant pushed her face and hits Jimmy Stewart to save him from getting hit harder. And the uncle gooses 2 people. And the gowns are by Adrian. No less. I
saw that part too. I was like, oh, I wonder who the costume designer is, because that's where my interests lie. And then I saw gowns, Adrian.
Love it.
Wait, hold on. What is your scientific study? I don't understand.
Well, I was so.
Here are the 7 steps of the scientific method, friend.
Okay, calm down. We emotionally react to things, right? And so I was like, okay, I'm going to just take an objective study of this. Because in my mind, there were times when she did physically come at him, but she didn't. She only ever verbally came at him.
Yeah, I was going to say,
So I was basically just trying to say, it really sucks that the movie started. I mean, granted, now stuff is not the same as people, but she did break one of his golf clubs. That doesn't mean she deserved to get pushed by the face. I'm not saying that.
Well, and so, okay, so watching it now, how did you react to him pushing her face, pushing her by the face?
I think it helps that they show that she just kind of falls back and she's okay. I think it helps that what they're sort of not talking about through the whole movie is the fact that he's a recovering alcoholic.
Yeah.
And I think that
they're definitely talking about that. I mean,
but they're not calling it alcoholism. I mean, because there wasn't.
Well, they're not like you're an alcoholic,
right? And she's ignoring. I mean, we can get into that, but anyway. So I just felt like the problem is I think it's played for laughs.
Yeah.
Still, and I don't like that, but I do like that they brought it up more than once. Because I think by bringing it back up, it's pointing out that it was not okay.
He socked her. She said, da 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 da.
Right? Yeah. I want to see if he socks her again. The younger sister, where it's just kind of that menacing younger sister because she doesn't really know what she's saying. You know what I mean? But
yeah,
I don't know. I mean, I feel like ultimately it would be better because it didn't need to happen, right? I mean, he could have almost hit her.
Well, and he does. You can tell because he stops himself. You can tell he wants to actually what I would consider be socking, which is punching someone, right?
Yes.
And then stops himself and then pushes her by the face instead.
Yeah.
And then you do see her kind of moving her neck around and her face is very
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think that like for me watching it, like I in my brain I was like, I should be more bothered by this than I am.
And
But
part of it is
also,
just knowing like it's them and it's Screwball and it, like
yeah, and the time and the, like in the grand scheme of things, he could have actually socked her. But I hate to be like, well, it could have been worse. Like I don't want to be that person either.
Jordan Parker, it's better than a sock in the eye.
Well, but I think too, because it also works later because she's so tough, she's like such a like strong, tough, like nothing bothers me, nothing can hurt me, nothing can, so formidable. That maybe, but you don't know that at watching the movie, but like with the sister and all of that, it's like, maybe she probably wanted to sock her one every now and again too.
Yeah.
I don't know. I can't speak to that desire. But wanted to sock my older sister.
What? Would you enjoy it if you're wedding?
Hold on. Before we go on, I have to ask a question.
Okay.
When was this movie set? In the 40s?
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure it was contemporary. So
yeah. So it was like.
Sorry, I didn't do any research just because I love it. And it's like whatever.
I also did no research.
It's like this is good. It stands. I don't need to do any research.
But here's my question. So
yeah, 1940.
Were golf clubs in the 1940s made out of some other different material than what they're made out of now? Because how Katharine Hepburn could have snapped a golf club in half?
It could have been wooden. They have wooden golf clubs.
It was not wooden. It was metal.
Maybe it was
a golf club?
Yeah.
It's a cricket.
What do you think they made it out of before they made them out of metal? What is wrong with you? People have been playing golf in the Highlands. Out of what? In the Highlands? Where golf started? She's
okay, if you are someone...
What, do you think we have golf historians who listen to this podcast?
Yes, I want a golf historian to listen to this. Our
audience of 5, we love you guys. You're the best.
We love you so much, and if you know about golf...
That's what the internet is for.
I'm looking it up.
Okay, great.
What other podcast does live research?
All of them.
Do you think you could snap a golf club over your knee like that?
No.
You think it was made out of wood? Do you think you could snap a wooden dowel over your knee like that?
I think if I were very angry, I think part of it too, I mean, a lot of it is, what is it you say, the willing suspension of disbelief? We can have that for big business, but not for the Philadelphia story.
Well, but I mean, maybe that was like a way to make her seem more tough too. I don't think they were very worried about people being upset about him assaulting her.
There was literally a TV show in the 50s where every single episode was him threatening to punch his wife. So yeah, I don't think people were that upset about it.
And we watched it. When are we going to do that episode?
Have changed.
Okay, what were you going to talk about?
I was asking how annoying would it be if your wedding announcement was like, former wife of...
Oh my God, I know! Like, no shade.
And then I wrote...
That's like some TMZ shit right there.
Exceptionally high standards. Who? That's what I wrote. So I was like, oh God, Ryan's going to get into it.
The evolution of the golf club from the Professional Golfers Career College.
This is not a golf podcast.
Keep going. What?
Oh, nothing. We can skip right past the part where Katharine Hepburn's character has exceptionally high standards that nobody can live up to. That sounds great. The melodrama of Dinah is a beautiful, beautiful thing.
Oh my God. Yeah, Dinah is excellent and I love her.
I felt bad for Bessie the horse, who was on the receiving end of some physical comedy.
Maybe it's because her name. Maybe it's because her name's Jack.
So good. I love the hard-boiled, unrequited woman sidekick. Gotta love the sass.
Oh my God! When she came on, I wrote, "She's gonna be the best thing in this movie."
And she was. She says, "I can't afford to hate anybody."
She was the best. She had what did she say later? She's like, "Where's my wandering parakeet?" She was
Yeah.
the best. And like, where did these like? I just like where like who talks like this? Who did people actually talk like this? No.
I mean, there had to be some people who talk like this.
I mean, yes, but I want to hold on. I'm getting ahead of myself. I love the mother when she said, "Yes, I have my self-respect and no husband."
She had some good lines too. She was funny
That
at the
bitch.
end.
She was funny. What was that Katharine Hepburn put on the rag? Was that perfume or was that alcohol?
I think it was perfume.
Okay, what car has a little perfume cubby in it? Why does the car have a perfume cubby?
Your car doesn't have a perfume cubby?
I mean, I guess it has cubbies in which I could put perfume, but like these tiny little crystalline bottles. When you know these people are fucking too rich. Like
yeah.
they are so rich that
they're so rich that they will change into a bathing suit to jump off a diving board, swim across the pool, and get out and then change again. Ain't nobody got that kind of time. Like, I hate changing clothes. Like, since I've been a child, that bothered me. Like, nobody has time to do that. Like, if you're gonna take all that time to undress and be like,
not
I'm gonna
only did she put the bathing
you.
suit on, then she put the very expensive wrap caftan
Goddess
belt
wrap
thing on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Belted it, had a whole conversation, had 5 conversations, because that's all they do in this movie is talk.
Yes, and change clothes.
And that to be it. I will say the photographer sidekick is the best thing. Yes. As far as character goes. But the absolute best thing in this movie is when everybody got drunk.
Yeah, it was very good drunk acting.
I think it might be the best drunk acting. Some of the best drunk acting ever. It was
so good. For those of you who haven't seen the Philadelphia Story, it's a comedy of remarriage where Katharine Hepburn, I'm just going to use their real names because they're famous and you should know who they are, plays a very wealthy society person who grew up with Cary Grant's character. And they married when they were young and had a very volatile short marriage that ended with her cracking his golf club over her knee and him pushing her face. And now she is remarrying a man of the people who came up from the coal mines and is now something director.
Is a coal miner's daughter.
But he's got political aspirations and they aren't a good match. A
lot of aspirations.
And there's her dad is a piece of shit. And so the ex-husband comes back into the scene to stop the wedding, but prevent the dad from being exploited, which is how we get the Jimmy Stewart and amazing sidekick, and I should know her name because she should be famous, as a photographer and writer who sneak into the wedding of the wealthy people to do a TMZ-style breakdown of it for Spy magazine. And funness ensues. Ryan's making a face. So since it was a big house party, wedding party, and there were the lower class people inside with the rich people, and they were talking about all their stuff, it was like, it would be real fun if I had all the time in the world to do a mashup of Philadelphia Story and Saltburn.
Oh my God.
Put some of the dialogue from each of them over each other. That would be super fun. Another thing.
Watch. Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, it wasn't about this, so go ahead.
Okay. Another relic of times past, other than rich people having perfume cabinets in their cars, they do these weird half hugs where like they're afraid to touch each other or something.
Oh my God, I totally wrote that down. Like, what is with the embraces when Cary Grant goes to hug the mother?
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
When
it's
the
like
mother
he's
starts
trying
crying,
to hug around her. Like,
I mean, he's like, it's like trying to hug someone without touching them.
Yes, it's like a COVID hug.
Yeah, it's like
it's really weird.
Or like he's afraid he's gonna break her or something. Like,
yeah, it is very weird. It was like,
but then that made me think about just general embraces in these types of movies, and then like sometimes they're so dramatic where like and like squeeze them like all the way to them in the side face and all of that.
Well, do you know why they do that? That's because of the production code.
because they couldn't kiss or
Yeah,
whatever.
so they couldn't really kiss. So they would do really dramatic things like that to try to
Yeah.
heighten the tension. But yeah.
But yeah, like that when he embraced the mother, it was very strange.
Yes.
She did probably like you got oh wait, he wasn't the one with halitosis. That was Clark Gable.
Yes. And probably Bing Crosby. I'm starting that rumor. So at this point, my mom came in to watch the movie with me. And she forgot about all the good dialogue. I wrote that down. So essentially, they sneak this reporter and this photographer in, and so Katharine Hepburn decides that they're going to go Grey Gardens.
Dude, I kept thinking about Grey Gardens, like when it was her and her mom, and they were like, "Yes, yes," and she came in all crazy, and the little girl, yes,
same. They're speaking French to each other.
Same. I wrote "crazy people, Grey Gardens." That's what that says.
It cracked me up. They were just like, "Oh yeah, oh you're gonna come in here and report on us? We're gonna be weird as hell." It was fantastic.
Like, we don't give them any reason to think ill of us. Be good. Like,
no, they were ridiculous.
Fucking daughter, like youngest one, coming in with all those jewels on her ballet slippers, and like, I spoke French before English.
So good. I love the line, "The judge gave me a full pardon." About she thought her marriage was for life. That was good. Our mother loves the Cars. She commented on all of them.
Oh shit, guess who? Okay, so the sidekick, the actress, and I remember seeing her name in the credits and being like, well, that's a name. Ruth Hussey.
Oh, okay, cool.
Margaret. Okay, good. What did Mom have to say, sir?
She just loved the Cars. She loved them all very much.
The Cars?
The Cars, yeah.
Yeah,
I think it's because she missed the scene with the horses, because she would have loved the horses too. Also, dear everyone ever, reading over someone's shoulder is a creepy thing to do. Period. Don't read over people's shoulders. Read your own shit. And the knit cap that she was wearing at the library.
Yeah.
Girl, no. There were some very unfortunate hat choices in this movie. Like,
oh man, I just said I'm going to get you that stocking cap.
No,
for you to wear on your Zooms.
No, thank you.
When you're writing.
Nope.
Yeah, you need that. It's a writer's cap. Nope. And also, a few things in this movie really took me back to the Muppet Christmas Carol. That hat was one of them.
Yeah, exactly. That's where it needed to stay. It did not need to be on.
And then when he gets to the library, and she's like, the librarian's like, "What is the wish?" He's like, "What?"
Well, because she was a Quaker.
Oh.
Yeah, they talked about Quakers a lot.
Well, yeah, I mean, he did. Yeah, he did. Cary Grant said to the mom about that old Quaker spirit right before he gave her the awkward hug.
Yeah.
I guess that makes sense. But I mean, it doesn't make sense. I'd have to know more about Quakers. But like, what is the wish? Then he's like, "Dost thou have a washroom?"
Yeah.
And then I wrote, "Come in and know me better, man."
In thy knit
So those are the two throwbacks to Muppet Christmas Carol, which is in front of my mind because my child keeps making me watch it.
Maybe you'll get over your puppet thing.
Oh, I'm over it now. I've enjoyed it. And the other day, we were watching it, and I told you he's been like kissing me a lot, like giving me little pecks.
Yeah.
And like finally, I was like, "Are you kissing me like Rizzo the Rat kisses Gonzo on the nose when he gets mad at him?" Because no, and then like yesterday he did something and I got mad at him, and like I was like, Elliot, and he kissed me. God damn you. Oh, child. It was like, I told him that was my favorite part of the movie. He's like, "Why does no pieces?" I know that's right.
Just love that. No Jesus.
Anyway, sorry. I digressed into a story about my child.
You're fine.
But yeah, I'm going to get you one of those stocking caps and I want you to wear it.
Nope. Never going to wear it. Nope.
Yes.
Nope.
We're going to make a bet.
And you're going to have to wear it. I'm never going to fucking wear it. Done. Bet. Done. Why? Even Mom was like, "What is that knitted cap?" I was like, exactly. That felt
very,
like it felt like there was a
forced.
bet on set and Katherine Hepburn lost and she had to wear that fucking hat. Like that's
Well,
what
I think
that
she
feels
was
like.
being like collegiate learnery because she also had that like vest coat on.
Oh
I
no,
don't
she
know.
was very definitely like wearing a costume, but no knitted cap. No, no,
She
no.
was still in Grey Gardens mode.
Yes. I was very
Um,
frustrated throughout the movie with her because she wouldn't listen to Cary Grant. Like she just had decided that he was still a drunk. And he was
yeah.
telling her, I'm not, I've changed. And she just wouldn't listen to him. And I find that very frustrating. But it also plays into the way that they set up her character. So that part was good. I loved
So
in a
here's my
crim.
question.
Mhm.
Oh. So at one point, I can't remember, and I don't know if I wrote it down, but basically he says to her, I think it's when they go, he comes upon like in the next scene here where they're at the pool and then he comes in and they're having their real thing and um Jimmy Stewart's like, oh God, this is fucking awkward and annoying. Like y'all
Yeah,
are
he looks
killing my
so
vibe.
uncomfortable. Yeah.
Yeah, and he just like scurries away. But he says something to her that's basically like, when you married me, you took on my like basically like because you married me, you agreed to take on my weaknesses and
Yeah.
my, you know what I mean? So then, but I mean, that's hard, right? Because then it's like, at what point? So like I have a friend now who's dealing with their partner has like severe, severe, severe mental health issues. And, it's like, and like with dad, like dad had severe mental health issues and refused to get help. And it's like, mom, you know what I mean? Not that mom actually was like trying to help him necessarily. I mean, she did sometimes like try to get him to like go and do that. But I guess my question is like, yeah, like at what point is it your responsibility who is made as someone who's made a commitment? And then the point where it's like, you can be like, look, I'm sorry, I can't help you anymore, right?
Well, there's also, I think, um, when he says that, he's not admitting the truth that at that time he didn't consider it a problem, right? Like he was just a drunk. And it took her
Yeah.
leading him for him to sober up. So I think, yeah, they both went into the marriage naively because neither of them recognized it as alcoholism as a problem.
Yeah.
But what the hell was she going to do about it? I mean, she's a
Yeah.
flighty socialite. Like, what was she going to do? Like, if she didn't drink
Yeah.
at all and was just like teetotal, like, I have the
Well,
discipline to
according to
do
her, she
this.
doesn't.
Well, most of the time she didn't. And then she decided maybe she should, which is great. Like, because
I don't drink.
extremes in
I
any
don't
form
drink.
are problematic, I find.
Yeah.
But according to me, I don't like extremes. But I think that it's unreasonable for him to expect that. But I think that's part of the charm of a comedy of remarriage is that you get people that really do love each other, but they get married at the wrong time. And so, it's like, is it really her responsibility? I mean, like, I think if he had been like, like, I have a problem, I would like to get help for it, and she like, peace, and walked out,
Yeah.
that's a problem. But the examples you're giving from our real life are people who refuse to get help, and you can't help someone who won't help themselves. You can't.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. Yeah, but then
and
it's like hard because like with mental health, it's like, well, how can you help? You know what I mean? Like, and I'm not defending, I'm not arguing, I'm just saying like it's so much harder to help yourself when you're, but anyways. And then like with alcoholism, I mean, that's like physical addiction.
right, yeah.
Yeah. Anywho, I don't know. Not to get all serious.
This movie's hilarious. But it does have layers. It has layers.
It does have layers.
Yeah.
Like, let me know when you're ready to talk about the dad.
Oh, I was about to say that, but I would like to talk about Adrian's gown, where Katherine Hepburn is in that white gown and it's draped in such a way that the gown looks like a Grecian column. So she's standing near the Grecian
Oh,
columns
you
at
mean
the
the
pool.
bathing suit cover up, her swim
Yes.
cover?
Yes. But literally, she
Bell.
looked like a fucking column. Like, I mean,
Yeah. Oh, good actor there.
very, very good costume.
Someone's been watching Project Runway.
Yeah, in a long time. Here's what I have to say about the dad. Get over it, Peter Pan Papa. So his argument is, I cheated because my oldest daughter is an ice queen. Never mind that the argument is totally fucked up in and of itself. He has a younger daughter who is a literal child.
Well, so you're missing a point. So the original argument is that men cheat because they want to stay young.
Right.
Or that men have this burning desire to stay young.
That's the Peter Pan part.
Yes. So if they have adoring daughters who adore them and fawn over them, then they won't go try to stick their dick in younger women.
Which is completely fucked up.
Oh my God, it's so fucked up. Like, it's so fucked up. You know, like, it started to be fucked up when he's like, my philandering isn't about your mother. Like, it's not about her. It's like,
yeah.
Like, she's like, it's not about me. Like, we're fine. It's none of my business. We're divorced. And then he's all, it's so. I mean, first of all, this movie has some very fucked up familial shit. Like, and it started when the uncle was grabbing his niece's butt.
Yes, yes.
When he is obviously queer.
I don't know about that, but he definitely was goosing too many people. I do like that they called him the pincher. This is the first time I believe I've ever watched it with the captions on. And so I got
that was a good idea.
All of the one-liners and everything. It was really good. So at that point I started calling him Uncle Pincher. But I would like to say about this Peter Pan argument that I feel like men will find any justification when they cheat. Mm-hmm. So it's bullshit. Mm-hmm. And also, I would like to point out that our father spent a lot of time telling people that I was an agnostic nun.
Because you weren't married and didn't have children?
Right. That basically I'm Katharine Hepburn in this movie. That, like, I'm just this chaste, cold, like, untouchable thing. And that's the reason why I don't have a partner and children. And it's like, but what if it's just that I don't want to have a partner and children? What if it has nothing to do with, like, what if it has nothing to do with my sexuality? Like, what if that is not?
No, I think I think that you do have some qualities that the character in this has. Where did I write the part down that was like, oh, it's like the part about setting exceptionally high standards, and most are apt to not to live up to them.
Right.
I think that's why you don't have a partner, is because you set exceptionally high standards, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that. First of all, let me just say there's nothing wrong with that.
Right.
Do you think that you set exceptionally high standards and happen to prefer men sexually for the most part? Yes.
What? Like, if I want to fuck do I want to fuck dudes?
You like
that
dick.
What you're saying? Yes.
You prefer dick.
Well, I think that something I've discovered about myself over the years is that I have romances with women and they're not physical. But yes, anything I do sexually is always with men. I'm not physically attracted to women.
So you sexually prefer men, but if we're talking about which of the species is most likely to and apt to not live up to expectations, it's men. I mean, men are fucking awful. Like, every movie we watch, we're reiterated, and then obviously we had, the fine example of our own father of men not living up. So I think that you're fucked.
Yeah.
Because of your high expectations and your preference for penis.
Well, and the other thing is that I have to really, really be into somebody to be physically engaged with them, which Dad couldn't understand at all. Like, he was just a horny dude. Like, and he was faithful to Mom, and that's great.
So much porn, he broke his penis. So
it broke his brain for sure.
Well, he broke his brain, which broke his penis. And I'm sorry you have to listen to and hear about this, dear listeners, but I'm more sorry that we had to hear about this because we did, and that's how we know.
You get what you pay
That
for.
reminds me, Emily, when we were having dinner, she's like, "How?" Asked me how mom was, and she was like, "Do you think your mom will like date?"
I wish you guys could see our faces.
It's like a person? No.
Her dog, yes, yeah.
Yeah, I was like, yeah. It's like my mom's days of being romantically involved, especially physically, are yeah gone. So, but I think it's the same thing too. So then, she asked me about someone, and I was talking about how maybe there was one person, but then we found out about something about them, and it made her, again that same thing that is like disappointment by not being able to live up to the standards.
Yeah.
And her standards are not nearly as high as yours, obviously. So, anyways, what? Dad's an ass.
I liked it when the harp was trilling when Katharine Hepburn was drinking champagne.
It's so good. Like, go on, girl. Go on, girl.
The drunk acting is wonderful. The best I've seen since Evan Peters was drunk in Mayor of Easttown. Just quality drunk acting.
C.K. Dexter Haven! C.K. Dexter Haven!
So good. And then right at that, when he was like, let's take this to the talking room. Like, I need to talk to you. Let's go to the talking room.
Well, let's
good.
take this to the talking room. So many guns.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they did talk about all the hunting that they do. Yeah.
But that wasn't the hunting house.
I mean, that was his bachelor pad. Where's he gonna? He's a bachelor.
Take me to C.K. Dexter Haven's mansion.
Those dudes are all ridiculous. Like, they were all ridiculous in their own ways. I will say this: if I get married, everyone has to learn some basic dance steps before the reception, because there will be dancing and proper fucking dancing, and not people acting like I'm too shy, I'm not good at dancing. Fuck you. Everybody's learning how to dance, and we're all going to dance until 4 a.m, just like in this movie. And then I'm going to go get in somebody's pool, just like in this movie. So good.
And then you're probably going to call it off, just like.
Yeah, 100%. Except I won't be remarrying somebody else. It'll just be like, I
just really wanted to have a party.
Yeah, I just wanted to go, you fuckers learn how to dance.
I just wanted to have a really fun, fancy party.
I would like to say that it was super dramatic when the music cut for the kiss. And it was like, oh, the music cut and they kissed. And then my dog farted. It was even better. I love the line, put me in your pocket, Mike. So cute.
Yeah. Like, put me in your pocket, Mike. She had some really great ones. I love how, I love the tension of I know it's mostly a words movie, but there is a lot of physicality too in that scene between her and Jimmy Stewart, where you're kept expecting them to kiss, and then they don't, and then they get, and then they don't, and then they do, and then they don't, and then, so that was really well played.
Yeah. I love Cary Grant's gorgeous jacket that he was wearing after the party, the one that had that button at the top. And the print. That's lovely. I thought that Uncle Pincher should be better at hangovers. He seemed to be very bad at hangovers.
He was such an amateur, although I do like everyone's reaction. C.K. Dexter, hey!
Sorry, you're fine. I love Dinah and Uncle Pincher in that little pony rig. That was the cutest little thing.
If you speak in a civilized tone of voice. I think we should bring back the word golly.
Golly's a good word.
Yeah. Golly. They say it a lot in this movie.
And I'm fine. Are you fine? I'm fine. I was upset when Dexter was trying to gaslight Dinah. Don't be gaslighting. And then they made a drunk Irishman joke. So it's like, oh yeah, 1940, here we are. I loved it when she's like, I'm standing here solidly on my own two hands going crazy. So good. And then
Yes.
I love that. Oh, I wrote, she owes her father nothing. She is apologizing to him and all that shit. And I'm like,
Oh my God,
oh,
I
him nothing.
know.
He's a fucking creep. Fuck your dad. Like, oh my God. I did think it was funny too when she got mad because Jimmy Stewart didn't try to make any moves on her. That was very, very much.
Yes.
It reminded me
She
too.
attractive. Yeah.
I mean, I know like no one's perfect. I know it seems like I'm whatever, but I do know that nobody's perfect, least of all me. But I finished the second season of The Bear last week, and there is an episode where the walls have to come down because of something, and the two partners are talking to each other, and she gets upset because they took the wall down, and he's like, you're mad that I took the wall down that had to come down. And she's like, yes.
Oh, I actually
It's
saw that episode.
like, what should I have done? What should I do different? Tell me next time. Tell you that I'm going to take down the wall that has to come down. Yes. And it's like, it's so illogical, but I so feel that. Like, it's like, I know myself in those moments where I'm like, I get that this is crazy. But still, yes, even though you're doing a thing that absolutely has to be done, I am upset that you did a thing that had to be done.
Yeah, and you
tell me about
asking me
before.
Talking to me will not change the outcome of this in any way, shape, or form.
Right. But I still would know and not find out about it, right? Like knowing in the moment.
But like, I wonder. So okay. So like with that scene, right? Is it because she's a woman, right? So like we go into that, like, so it's a partnership between a man and a woman.
Yeah.
And I didn't watch the first season, so I don't know like the dynamics, but obviously he's the chef and she's like a sous chef kind of situation.
No, they're both chefs. Yeah.
They're both chefs. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. There seemed to be a little bit of an imbalance of power in some way.
Well, yeah, he's older. She worships
more
him.
experience.
Yeah. Like she came to work at a shitty place because he was there and she wanted to work with him.
Yeah. So, I wonder how much that's, and like with you too, about like, I just want you to tell me, is because, it's that question of like, because you're already coming into it expecting to be pushed out, expecting to not be treated fairly. You know what I mean? Because you are a woman, because there's a power imbalance. So you assert those seemingly crazy requirements to ensure that you're not, whereas if it was two men, and the wall,
I could totally see two men having that exact same argument.
Really?
Oh yeah. Yeah, I really could. Yeah. I mean, I really, really could. I think it's just I don't think it's necessarily a gendered thing. I think that what we see is because we're in a heteronormative society and almost every single relationship we see portrayed in the media is about a man and a woman, then that's typically the genders you see playing that out. But I think that is definitely it's just a human frailty. It's yes, this is completely illogical. I understand. You could tell she knew, yes, I sound crazy right now, but it still is a thing and it matters, But I just think that show is just so wonderfully written, and I just really appreciate that.
Yeah, no, it is a good. So, okay, well, follow-up question. Do you think that when Marley and Marley were partners in life, one of them got mad if the other one didn't inform them of a decision? So like when Marley,
I would like for you, for your homework, to rewatch the Metallica documentary that came out in the early 2000s.
No.
If you want to see an example of dudes acting like ladies with their emotions as the way that we've all come to understand.
I was just trying to make a joke and bring it back to.
Sorry. They were brothers. You know, they had crazy drama, or they just hit each other.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
I love the part where the mom comes in and tells Cary Grant, she's like, Dexter, you're not supposed to be here. And she like starts to climb under the table. She's like, no games, Dexter. And then I wrote this down. I can't remember what it's from. But it's like the worst are better for wine, and there are rules. I can't remember. Oh, when she's like, why didn't you try something with me, Jimmy Stewart?
Yes.
And he's like, you were the worst are better for wine, and there are rules. And so I liked that. Like that was a nice nod to like, you know, a lack
you don't
of rape
sexually assault people. Yeah.
Yes. Balanced out the face push. You know, my absolute favorite part was at the end when the annoying bratty little sister goes, I did it all. Like, I did all of this.
Mom goes, oh, it's Elliot again.
There was a lot of Elliot moments. Like, when drunk Katharine Hepburn, like, had some moments that reminded me of Elliot.
Any last thoughts on Philadelphia Story?
It's a great movie. Oh, do you want me to tell you what Ben said?
Sure.
When I was like, oh, do you want to watch it with me? I thought maybe you'd want to watch it with me. He's like, I assume you haven't seen it. And he goes, no, I've genuinely tried to avoid those black and white movies. It's like they're just really boring and the acting isn't very good. And I was like, oh. Too much talky.
Not enough action. Yeah.
It's like the acting is amazing. I was like, well, this one's based on it. But he's like, yeah, I think they all were, and that's not why they weren't very good movies. It's like, okay. What are we watching next week, sister?
Hey, thanks. That's it for this episode of I Love You But. Join us next week when we discuss, for Black History Month, 227 and Different Strokes. We're excited. Watch those a lot as kids. So, hey, what made you laugh? What made you cringe? What did we forget? What should we talk about in future episodes? And hey, if you've got other black and white talkie classics like this one that we need to know about, please let us know, because I love black and white talkie. Any screwballs, comedies.
Those were not the words he used. Those are my words.
Okay, I'm not. It's fine. I like black and white talkie. I'm not downplaying it. We want to know your thoughts. Find us on Instagram and Threads at I Love You But Pod, or email us at iloveyoubutpod@gmail.com. Listener emails and comments may turn up in future episodes. If you like us, put a review on us. Give us a rating. Follow us to help other people find us and enjoy us. Thank you for listening. I'm Heather.
I'm Ryan, and we wish you lots and lots of conditional love.